welcome to Live Interactive English. Hi everyone, I'm Mike.
Hello there, I'm Winnie.
You're Imperial.
I am right now.
Okay, well I guess I have to be the French Monsieur Metric. That is me. I am very logical and I am very modern.
Well, you're going down, sir.
Well, but I'm kilograms and kilometers and I'm winning.
Yeah.
I'm winning the world, as we're going to learn, because we've been talking about how we measure the world, how we measure weights and lengths and heights and all sorts of things. And as you guys know from what we all read yesterday, there are two systems in the world, the Imperial, the older one, kind of set up by the British people.
Yeah.
And then there was the metric system set up by French people.
Yes.
And both of them are still being used around the world today.
Yes. Fun fact, have you ever heard of a pound cake?
A pound cake. I've heard of a pound cake, yes.
Did you know that the reason it's called a pound cake wasn't because they were pounding the cake into the pan, but because it was the recipe. So there would be a pound of flour, pound of eggs, pound of butter, and it was just an easy 1-to-1-to-1-to-1 ratio.
Interesting.
That's why it's called a pound cake.
So that's an easy way to remember how to make one. So it wasn't because the cake would weigh a pound.
No.
You just use a pound. That's a lot of cake.
That is a lot of cake. Yeah.
Man, okay, very, very interesting. And yes, we also have, a quarter pounder for a certain size of hamburger. Whenever you go to a steak restaurant, it's always in ounces, which is weird because that's Imperial and not. But then in the supermarket, if you buy your apples or bananas or things, it's usually grams and kilograms.
Weird.
If you're in Taiwan.
Yeah.
But in other countries, it might be different.
That is true.
So we're going to get into all of that today, find out which countries use which systems and where the confusion can come, because there can be confusion, most definitely.
While the imperial system was used within the British Empire, the metric system gained wide support thanks to its simplicity. Prefixes like kilo, 1,000, and centi, 1/100, scale units by powers of 10. For example, 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. By comparison, imperial conversions can seem irregular. 12 inches in a foot, 3 feet in a yard, and 1,760 yards in a mile. Unsurprisingly, the user-friendly metric system became more popular. Today, it is often noted that 3 countries have not yet fully switched to the metric system: the United States, Myanmar, and Liberia. Myanmar inherited non-metric units from Britain during colonial rule, while Liberia's system traces back to the United States.
All right, let's get into our article, learning more about how we measure the world, and especially through the imperial and metric systems.
All right, let's continue on with the article today. It says, while the imperial system was used within the British Empire, the metric system gained wide support thanks to its simplicity. And I must agree with you. I mean, at the end of the day, what is going to be used more? Something that is harder to relate to, or something that's like, you know what, that makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, we used to have all sorts of ways of measuring money, right?
True.
We have shillings and crowns and doubloons and things, but now most countries use $1 or something like that, broken up into 100 little cents.
Yep.
Because it's just logical, it makes sense. Prefixes like kilo, 1,000, and centi, 1/100, scale units by powers of 10. So it's kind of a logical, simple way, and everyone can understand it quite easily. For example, 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters.
I love it.
A meter is this long.
Yep.
A kilometer, and some people say kilometer or kilometer. Kilo meaning 1,000, that's 1,000 meters. You can have a decameter. I think that's 10 meters.
I love it. I love the
Centimeter.
simplicity.
We all understand what's going on here
love it.
because the scale is very logical. It's based on 10, and that is a simple way to do math and to count and all sorts of other things. When we talk about a scale, we're talking about kind of measuring things or using or looking at things that are really big, but in a way that makes it smaller so it's easier to understand. A very common place to find a scale is on a map. For example, it says the map scales distances so that 1 centimeter on the map is 1 kilometer in the real world.
Yeah.
Because, of course, if you had a map that was the same size as the real world, you wouldn't be able to fit it in your pocket or in your car.
If you're a big model car person,
yes,
you'll do like a 1 to 18?
I used to do 1 to 72 little model airplanes.
Wow!
Yes.
Okay, well, this guy loves his scales. All right, continuing on with the article. By comparison, imperial conversions can seem irregular.
Do you mean cuckoo?
Yeah, a little cuckoo. Yeah, cray-cray. 12 inches in a foot.
12 inches in a foot.
3 feet in a yard.
3 feet in a yard.
And 1,760 yards in a mile.
Oh, now why?
I'm confused.
So if I want to figure out how many inches in a mile, I have to do 12 times 3 times 1,700. See, this isn't logical. This is hard to remember.
This is when...
Who thought of this?
Someone with a crown, apparently.
Someone who was selling calculators.
Oh.
Because it's so hard, you need to do a lot of math.
Well,
hard math.
Speaking of that, unsurprisingly, the user-friendly metric system became more popular because, first of all, people back then, education wasn't it wasn't something that everyone could have access to.
No one had a calculator.
No one had a calculator. So doing math was already something that's it was very foreign to them.
Yes, it's a hard thing to do. So make it simple so everyone, from the scientists who need to measure things for science to the guy who's selling fruit in the market or fish or whatever, they can all know what's going on.
Well, my math teacher used to teach us a trick.
What was that?
She would give us a kiss.
She would give you a kiss.
But don't worry. She told us to kiss. Keep it simple, silly.
Keep it simple, silly. I like that.
And that's what the French did. They did a bisou bisou. They kept it simple.
They're keeping it simple.
And you know who always keeps it simple?
Who is that?
Hanny.
She is a simple girl.
We could give her a kiss right now.
All right. Mwah.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny， 今天要继续看英制与公制的渊源。英制系统是在大英帝国内使用，那么公制系统则因为简单容易使用而获得广泛支持。它就是依循着10的次方递进来换算。好，那么单字 scale 在这边当动词，它是表达按比例调整，依某种标准或者是等级去衡量判定，或者是表达调整规模。Mike 老师这时候有提到 decameter 这个名词，它可以指公丈或是称为10米。好，那这边有一个重点是连接词 while 的用法。首先，它可以表达然而，相当于 whereas， 用来说明对比情况。像 Some people prefer warm weather, while others enjoy cool weather。有些人偏好温暖的天气，而有些人喜欢凉爽的天气。第二个意思是表达在点点点期间当什么的时候，相当于 when 或者是 during the time that。例如 Jenny set the table while her mom cooked。Jenny 在她妈妈做饭时摆好餐具。好，那这话课文中。
All right, thank you so much, Hanny. You kept it really simple.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
She did keep it simple, just like the metric system. Now, as we learn, the metric system based on 10, 100, 1,000. It's very logical. It's very simple. And of course, every country uses the metric system now, right?
Oh, Mike, did you not get the message?
Yeah, no, not quite. It says today, it is often noted, people often notice and point out, it is often noted that 3 countries have not yet fully switched to the metric system. The United States of America,
yes.
Myanmar, and Liberia. That is an interesting gang.
I mean, yeah.
One country in Asia, one country in Africa, and the USA.
The USA.
And they're all sticking with the imperial system.
It's interesting.
So in America, people know their weight in pounds.
Yeah.
They know their height in feet and inches. If you're on the highway, everything's measured in miles. In the supermarket, your milk is gallons.
Yep.
It can be quite confusing
for
people. We haven't even talked about temperature, too.
Oh, I was just going to say, we don't even want to get into that. Well,
that's right.
The article continues by saying, Myanmar inherited non-metric units from Britain during colonial rule.
All right.
while Liberia's system traces back to the United States. This makes sense because their history, it kind of is a very, yes, it's a tense history.
It's all kind of tied together.
It ties together. So we have this word to trace. That means to find out and go back through the history of something. That means you're doing a little bit more research. You're saying, where did this come from? And then you're kind of going back through the years and saying, so this is what happened. This thing came from this because I traced the lineage. I see how it happened. So, for example, Anna traced her family history to 200 years ago. That's a lot. That means they did a really good job of keeping track of the names, the ages, who came out of who, I guess.
So you should actually follow her parents, grandparents, great-great-grandparents all the way back to 200 years ago. That's pretty cool.
Well, I think we should trace this back to Hanny.
I can trace my love of English grammar back to Hanny directly.
There you go.
She's the whole inspiration for my entire life.
现今常有人提到，仍有3个国家尚未完全转换为公制：美国、缅甸还有赖比瑞亚。缅甸在殖民时期承袭了英国的非公制单位，那么赖比瑞亚的系统可以追溯至美国。Trace 这个动词就可以表达追溯、追查。Trace something back to 点点点，可以表达追溯某事物至其起源或者是原因。那这边一个重点是 It is noted 加上 that 子句的句型 ，it 在这边是虚主词，真正的主词就是 that 子句。那这样的句型是用被动语态来表示普遍看法或公认事实。Note 在这里是指提到、指出。例如 It is often noted that excessive use of social media can cause mental health problems. 常有人提到过度使用社群媒体会导致心理健康问题。好，接华课文中。
Okay, guys, we've tracked the imperial systems and the metric systems pretty much up until today, but we're also sad to tell you that even in countries that use the more logical scientific metric system today, there are places or even certain things they still measure in the old. It's just so confusing.
It's confusing. We need like a dictionary, but instead of dictionaries, it would be like all of the little units.
Yeah, I mean, we can agree about so much around this planet, but how to measure and weigh things still seems confusing. Let's get into it, and we're going to find out, just to warn you about some of the weird things you might experience as you travel around the world.
The US uses the US customary system, which grew out of older English units and differs slightly from the British imperial system. The UK has also held on to some imperial measures. In pubs, beer is sold in pint glasses, and street signs show miles, not kilometers. Why? Sometimes, old habits just die hard. Measurement systems are more than just numbers. They reflect history, culture, and habits that endure over time. So the next time you pour a drink or check a map, remember, the way we measure the world tells a story all its own.
All right, welcome back from the break. Before the break, we learned about a little bit about how different countries use, well, actually just 3 countries still use the imperial system, and that is, of course, the US of A, Liberia, and Myanmar.
That's right. And of course, in some of those countries, it might still be based on that British system from 1824 that we learned about. But America, being America, it has to do things just a little bit more differently to make it a little bit more confusing. This is so weird.
Yeah.
It says the US uses the US customary system. That's the official name. I think I've also seen it just called U.S. Imperial System,
yes,
but that's what it's officially called. I guess the U.S. government calls it the U.S. Customary System, which grew out of older English units and differs slightly from the British Imperial System. So I guess an American pound or a gallon might be slightly bigger or smaller than a British pound or gallon, because we know they're not the same. We read there that they differ, and when things differ, they are not the same. They are different.
I see what you did there.
Different, they differ. So to be different is the adjective. This is different from that. Or I could say this differs from that. It is not the same in some way. Big or small, but not the same. For example, the current results differ from the earlier tests. So the numbers that came out from the tests are a little bit different in some way.
Well, speaking of the US
Customary
system, the UK has also held on to some imperial measures. That is true. Sometimes they use miles, right?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Or pounds or feet and inches.
Right.
They also use stone to talk about how heavy a person is.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't use that to talk about how heavy a car is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it continues in pubs.
There you go.
Beer is sold in pint glasses, and street signs show miles, not kilometers. Why? Sometimes old habits just die hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I get it.
I mean, there would be a big difference between what the parents know and what the kids know.
Yeah.
If young people suddenly start to learn metric.
That's true.
Right? But you do need to know about these things. And sometimes they change. When I lived there, milk used to be sold in pints as well.
Really?
But I'm not sure if you would buy liters of milk now in the UK. Or if they still stick with the pints like they do with a glass of beer.
Well, now I just thought about it. In the US, they refer to a tub of ice cream sometimes as a pint of ice cream.
Oh, really? Or a quart.
Yeah.
Which is what, 4 pints in a quart.
Weird.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
That's why I stick with metric.
Exactly. Well, a pub is a bar or a place that serves alcoholic beverages.
Exactly. And especially that kind of British style.
Yeah.
Where you would have a local pub in any little town.
Yeah, you might even get some bangers and mash.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
So, for example, Jennifer met her friends at their favorite pub. But of course, they are of age. Okay, in England, is it 18?
I believe, yes.
Yes. Okay, so don't break any rules.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Do only go to a pub if you're over 18 or if you're with your parents. You can often go to a pub, but maybe
you could just eat
the
food.
dining room area of the pub. But it's a friendly local place that often has a restaurant, and it's also a place to get some drinks for adults. Let's go to Hanny. She's at the pub every day.
No, she's not.
And every night.
No.
In fact, we're filming her in a pub right now, because no, we're not. She never goes to a pub. She's a very healthy person.
美国用的是美制习惯系统，是从更早的英国单位演变而来，那么跟英制略有不同。英国则也保留了部分英制单位，像在酒吧里面，他们的啤酒还是用品托杯为单位来贩售，一大杯就是1个 pint。好，那么 differ 这个动词呢，是指不同、相异、有区别，它可以接 from 加名词来表达与什么什么不同。那么 pub 这个名词表示酒吧。Winnie 老师在讲到酒精饮料时，他用到 beverage 这个名词就表示饮料，还有提到 bangers and mash， 它是指香肠薯泥，是英国传统菜肴之一。那这边有一个重点是 grow out of 的不同意思。首先，它可以表达由衍生发展而来，像 His love of music grew out of his time in the church choir。他对音乐的热爱是在教会唱诗班那一段时光培养出来的。那第二个意思可以表达随着成长而戒除或改变掉原有的习惯，例如 Sally grew out of biting her nails。 Sally 长大后改掉了咬指甲的习惯。那这话课文中。
All right, thank you so much, Hanny. We're back.
Yes, we are. I'm exhausted.
I'm exhausted.
These 2 days have left me emotionally tired.
My brain hurts.
Exactly. I have lost a pound or 2.2 kilograms or I don't know. But I've really worried a lot about this because it's clearly a very, very confused history and way of doing things. But that's the world we live in. Yeah. As it says, measurement systems are more than just numbers. They reflect history, culture, and habits that endure over time. And as long as you kind of understand that there's some differences, they can actually be quite interesting. And if you really get into it, you find that there's many other measurements that we have gotten rid of.
Exactly.
There's gills and bushels and cubits and all sorts of other stuff. So if you think it's confusing now,
it was worse.
It was worse a long time ago. And it could still be worse, but hopefully we'll get a few more of those countries to go metric and then everything will be slightly simpler. But for now, we'll have to endure some of these weird differences in the ways we measure and weigh things. To endure something is to kind of last for a long time. time to live through something difficult or challenging. You could endure a difficult, stressful time in your life before your exams, or it can be something that just survives for a long time. These mountains have endured for millions and millions of years. They've lived there, they've survived, they've had nature and volcanoes and earthquakes and all sorts of stuff, but they're still there. Like this great festival. The festival has endured for hundreds of years.
Oh, wow.
So people have been celebrating this thing in this town at this time in this way for a very long time, and they still do. It's endured.
All right, yeah, and continuing on with the article. So the next time you pour a drink or check a map, remember, the way we measure the world tells a story all its own. It's actually very nice. That's kind of a nice little ending right there.
I like
we
that.
have one last verb, and I think everyone knows what pour means because
I have
we
no
are
money.
Okay, so maybe not. Okay, pour means to transfer liquid from one container to another. Yeah, so for example, the waiter poured tea for all the guests. Yeah, or I'm pouring my heart out to you.
Oh, that's very nice too.
You know who also pours her heart out to us?
Who would that be?
Hanny, of course.
Oh, okay. She's here to pour some knowledge into our empty brains.
课文最后提到，这些度量衡系统反映了历史文化跟历久不衰的习惯。下次你在倒饮料或是看地图的时候，就要记得我们测量世界的方式，它本身就是一段独特的故事哦。好，那么单字 endure 这个动词表示延续，它也有忍受、忍耐的意思。pour 动词表示倒出，像倒出液体，它也有倾注的意思。这回到课文中。
All right, thank you so much, Hanny. I think I need to take a nap after this.
Yes, me too.
I think Hanny also deserves a nap because we also have a what do you think question.
Okay.
Mike,
Yeah.
why do you think some countries have still not fully switched to metric units? Please answer within 60 seconds. Go.
I have no idea. That is my answer. No, it's difficult.
It's difficult.
It's suddenly like changing something in the middle of the story. You know, I mean, as I said, businesses would have to change. All the signs in the country would have to change.
That's true.
All the boxes in the store that tell you how much that is and how much it weighs, that would have to change. Children would be saying, I'm 14 kilograms. And their parents would say, how many pounds is that? It would be very confusing and it would be very expensive.
I mean, to this day, even I have an app on my phone that converts that stuff.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
this is something we're still kind of, I don't know, we're kind of meshing, especially if I'm a baker and I look at recipes, a lot of them are from the US, and then I go, oh, great, so how many cups is grams? But thankfully, nowadays, they actually on websites will have both.
Oh, that's handy.
So that's nice.
Yeah, so obviously it would be a big challenge for governments and companies and all that. And also I think there's an emotional thing, you know, my grandparents use this, so I use this, you know, when they change the name of our money or even the design of the money, people get all upset about that.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
You know, I think there's also just like, no, we like it this way, and changing would be a bunch of trouble.
Well, then I think if that's the case, then
Yes.
maybe we don't change it, but we have to welcome everyone.
We should, and we should understand the other systems at least a little bit. So hopefully
no one is better.
You guys do. How many yards in a mile?
1,760 yards.
Yeah, I think. I think I'm going to remember that.
Don't quiz
one.
me like that, Mike.
I know.
That's
I'll
not
remember
nice.
it for today,
Thank
but
you.
probably not tomorrow.
Exactly. Well, we're going to review the article again.
Yes.
We're going to see you on the next one. I'm going to wave for 3 seconds, but everyone knows what 3 seconds are.
They do.
It is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we'll be seeing you maybe tomorrow, which is in more than 3 seconds, but less than a millennium.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. 1, 2, 3.
Was that imperial or metric?
While the imperial system was used within the British Empire, the metric system gained wide support thanks to its simplicity. Prefixes like kilo, 1,000, and centi, 1/100, scale units by powers of 10. For example, 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. By comparison, imperial conversions can seem irregular. 12 inches in a foot, 3 feet in a yard, and 1,760 yards in a mile. Unsurprisingly, the user-friendly metric system became more popular. Today, it is often noted that 3 countries have not yet fully switched to the metric system: the United States, Myanmar, and Liberia. Myanmar inherited non-metric units from Britain during colonial rule, while Liberia's system traces back to the United States. The US uses the US customary system, which grew out of older English units and differs slightly from the British imperial system. The UK has also held on to some imperial measures. In pubs, beer is sold in pint glasses, and street signs show miles, not kilometers. Why? Sometimes, old habits just die hard. Measurement systems are more than just numbers. They reflect history, culture, and habits that endure over time. So the next time you pour a drink or check a map, remember, the way we measure the world tells a story all its own.
最后，我们来复习今天课文里的单字文法。单字的部分有 scale， 当动词是指按比例调整，依某种标准或等级去衡量、判定或是调整规模。trace 当动词表示追溯、追查。differ 动词表示不同、相异、有区别。pub 名词表示酒吧。endure 动词表示延续、忍受、忍耐。pour 动词表示倒出液体或者是倾注的意思。文法部分，第一个学到连接词 while 的用法，它可以表达而、然而，还可以表达在点点点期间或是当什么什么的时候。再来，我们学到 it is noted 加上 that 子句的句型，那它是用被动语态来表达普遍看法或公认的事实。第三个学到 grow out of 点点点的不同意思，它可以表达由点点点衍生发展而来，还可以表达随着成长而戒除掉或改变掉原有的习惯。好，那以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
All right, ladies and gentlemen, get ready to ride along a bike path that's famous for its beautiful scenery, the Dongfeng Bicycle Green Way. Let's go! Dongfeng Bicycle Green Way runs from Dongshi District to Fengyuan District along the old Dongfeng Railway. It stretches for over 12 kilometers and passes many old train stations. The path does not cross any roads with cars, making it safe for cyclists. The Dongfeng Railway was built in 1958. In 2000, the old railway was paved over and turned into a bike path. Since its completion, the bike path has become a popular scenic attraction in Taichung. Besides the old railway, there are many other sites along the way, such as Shigang Dam, Shigang Railway Station, Shigang Barn, Lover's Wood Bridge, the Centennial Mango Tree, Meizi Railway Station, Dongfeng Iron Bridge, and Dongshi Hakka Cultural Park. With its peaceful route and scenic views, the Dongfeng Bicycle Greenway makes for a truly memorable cycling experience. Riding a bike while enjoying stunning scenery along the way sounds like the perfect way to spend a day with your loved ones. Come experience all the beautiful sights the Dongfeng Bicycle Greenway has to offer.